Hello guys, welcome to Spoken Essays, and I'm very happy to see you again. And we will continue with our free code camp tutorial today, and where we will learn HTML and CSS, and we'll learn more about HTML CSS. Last time we finished the Picasso painting, and today we'll begin with a keyboard. We'll make a green keyboard using HTML and CSS. So without wasting more time, let's begin. Great. So using OBS, I can show you my face and my screen. That is some amazing technology. And what do we have here? So we can see that we finished the Picasso painting yesterday, and now we're going to learn responsive web design by building we'll learn responsive web design by building a piano. Great. So let's see. Hey, this says responsive web design, if you notice. So that's the name of our course. So finally we have reached somewhere. That is great news. And what more courses will we do today? I think this has 33 steps, so that won't take much time. It will probably take an hour, maybe less than that. And after that we have the certification project, which will be covered later. After that we are to build a city skyline. Okay, and let's open that. So in this, it has, oh my god, 118 steps. That will be a project that will probably take maybe 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. Great work. And what is this? So we'll build a magazine. Imagine a magazine. We'll create a magazine in using CSS grid. Wow. So we'll learn grid rows and grid columns. That also has 80 steps. So 80, 180, 198, and what, 33, so 200 steps. But it doesn't matter really if you count the steps. So we'll probably cover these two from the morning till the afternoon, maybe 4-5 o'clock till the evening. And then we will go to these two. I think these are the last two. We'll probably finish the Ferris wheel as well. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll probably have the goal to finish all these. What does this have? So building a penguin, that will also have 104 steps. So by the end of this day or tomorrow afternoon, we will have finished all these. And after that we will we'll go after the certification projects. Remember guys, the order does not matter. If you want to start the project by yourselves, you can. There's no rule, as long as the project is functionally correct, you will pass. But if you want to make it look attractive, if you want to make it look very cool, then you'll have to spend some time in there. But if it's functionally correct, then you will have passed it anyway. So just because I understand that we will have to spend some time making it look attractive, I'm not spending much time there. Moving on. Wow, that is, yes, there is a lot of heat. Anyway, so let's begin with the the piano. So we're going to build a piano. Oh, not a keyboard, we're going to build a piano. Great. So what does this say? Responsive web design tells your web page how it should look on different sized screens. Yes, अलग-अलग screen sizes में क्या दिखता है, कैसा दिखता है, कैसा दिखना चाहिए. In this course, you'll learn CSS and responsive design to code a piano. You'll also learn more about media queries and pseudo selectors. And we have been learning pseudo selectors, understanding what pseudo selectors are by now. Pseudo means not I think fake. Let's find out. Or not true. What does it say? Not genuine. So pseudo means not genuine selectors. Anyway, moving on. Let's start the project. and it gives us a preview. Are these buttons clickable? No, not so far. Maybe in the future we'll learn how to play that. Maybe we can, press the buttons and it will play the piano. That would be an amazing sight. But for now, I can see that we're only supposed to build a picture like something. And this is a box and it has some radius of maybe 5 pixels, 10 pixels, not many pixels. This box has a radius. Inside this div we will add these items. We place these items, the keys, the black keys and the white keys, and we have the freeCodeCamp logo, of course. Makes sense? Let's begin. I understand why this would only have 33 steps. So let's begin with the first step. Begin with the basic HTML structure. So guys, we have went through this a lot of times, so quickly I'll just write this. So guys, we have finished this. I also have to add the title. Okay, so guys, you can see here that the first line is the declaration, then this is the opening HTML tag, then we have, let me do this. Yeah, so this is the first line, that's the declaration, then the second line, that's the opening HTML tag with the attribute language. I'll say lang, the lang attribute with the value English. Then we have the opening head tag. Inside this head tag we have title, which will be visible on top, which can be viewed, read, seen on top of on the top bar, also where the tabs are in Google Chrome. Then we have the closing title tag. Then we have the closing head tag, so that you know that head is finished here. And then we have the body tag, where whatever we write is visible in the web page. And then we have the closing HTML tag. So far so good. So now in step 2, add 2 meta tags. Thank you. So we are already inside the head tag. I'll just press tab twice and open the meta tag. It is a self-closing tag, guys, so don't put the closing tag for meta. Now what are we supposed to mention? So we're supposed to mention char set. Char set will will tell the browser how to read the web page, using which script is the browser supposed to read the web page. So UTF 8 is what we have been using, UTF encoding. Okay, so add 2 meta tags, one to optimize your page for mobile devices and one to specify accepted char set. So we'll add another 2, we'll give it the, of course, meta and we'll give it the attribute name attribute में लिखेंगे viewport, and what is this attribute called? Device? No. It is something, but I can't recall again. Sorry about that. It is content. Yes, thank you. So content, and inside the content attribute we will put, of course, width equals device hyphen width and comma space initials hyphen scale equals 1.0 and no semicolons, and we'll close this tag. This is a self-closing tag, so you can see that I have not added the closing tag. Now we're done with meta char set, meta name viewport, and content device width. So I think we are done. Maybe if I miss something, let me know. Let's check. Nope, we're all good to go. I'll scroll up a little bit. So time to start working on the piano. Now you can see that we are inside the body element. And let's see, so create a div element within your body element with the ID set to piano. So we'll create a div, and ID is obviously for classes. Well, the ID's value will be piano, and we'll probably manipulate this ID using the ID selector in styles.css. Notice guys, we haven't linked the styles.css file yet, so it will come in the next steps, subsequent steps. So div ID piano within your body element we have, and we are good to go. Yes, thank you. We will, yeah, you can ask me later. Thank you. And guys, please be generous if you find these videos enjoyable, or you find something, if you think you are learning something from this, then बेझिझक अगर आप हमारे पेपैल पे या फिर हमारे पेट्रियन पे कुछ डोनेट कर सकते हैं तो देन it will be appreciated. Now moving on, next a div within your existing div. So now we're going to nest it. So I'm going to add 2 more spaces, which I did, and we'll put a div closing tag, div opening tag and a div closing tag. Now we're going to give it a class called keys. So now I'm getting, so this is where we'll manipulate the keys. Now we're only nesting one key, so probably there will be a set of white keys and there will be a set of black keys. Moving on, थोड़ा ऊपर कर देता हूँ. Yes, now you can see it much better. So this is what we give, what value this is what I typed. Now step 5 within your dot keys. So when we say dot keys, it is for a class selector. So this is what they're referring to, the class keys element, and 7 div elements. So we're going to add 7 div elements, and we'll give them the class key. This is the class keys, and we'll give them the class keys. There might be typos involved, so please be very patient and keep your eyes and ears open. So div, and we'll give it the class value of, in double quotes, key, and I'll close this. Remember, divs are not self-closing tags, so you must put this key. Now we're supposed to add 7, so why don't I copy these 3? I'll paste it, and oh yeah, I'll have to copy one line, and we have it. So we have 7 divs with the class key inside the div with the class keys. I see, nice, and we're good to go. Now it says remember that a class attribute. We have not, yes, we haven't linked it yet. Yes, that's what I was looking for. Anyway, so what does this say? Remember that a class attribute can have multiple values. Yes, it can. Yes, definitely, there's no doubt about it. It can have multiple values. To separate your white keys from your black keys, you'll add a second class with the value of black hyphen key. Okay, add this to your second, third, fifth, sixth and seventh dot key elements. So this dot key is the class key elements. So which one does it say? So in the second we will write black hyphen key. I will copy this, and what does this say? Second, third. So third, then fifth, so I'll put it here, sixth and seventh key elements. Okay, So these will become black keys, I assume. The Black Keys, that is an amazing band. You why don't you check it out when you have the time? Okay, now let's see, and we're good to go. Now what does this step say? Wow, that is a lot of sweat. Yeah, it is humid today, isn't it? Now copy the set of 7 dot key elements. The set of 7 key elements. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we added the 7 key elements before, so yeah, we don't need to count them again. But now copy the 7 key elements, set of 7 key elements. So that's, yeah, we've copied the set, and paste 2 more sets into the dot keys, which is this div. Okay, so I've copied it. If you've selected something and then you press a key, especially enter key, it will be deleted and will go to the next line. Even if you type another key, it will be overwritten by that key, whatever the key is. So I unselected the text and then I'm going to paste it. Then we have this, we have the second set. I'll press enter again and I can press command V again, and we have 3 sets now. And we can see that there is a green line over here, and that means we have passed the test. Great. Now on to step 8. Of course we'll link the document. So what I'll do is I'll put enter here, press enter here, and within the head element, we are inside the head element now, right now. So link, of course, but this time it says /styles.css. that is new. Let's find out why that is. So let's see. Okay, so quickly I'll write link. I'll open the link. So in the link I will write relationship is style sheet. Nope, not the plus sign, the equal to sign. And for hypertext reference I will put again the plus sign. I keep pressing the shift, sorry about that, guys. So href ./styles.css, that is new. I don't know why we are adding / for the first time. Let's find out why. And this doesn't give us an explanation, so let's find out why are we using /. So we'll write in the address bar / in CSS, and I can see, let me put it in double quotes. So we have why do we use it? So in HTML path, yeah. So in HTML file paths, let's find out why this is. So of course this is a normal file path, this is a picture.jpg, yes, then this is /picture.jpg. What is this .picture.jpg? So the picture.jpg is located in the folder 1 level up. I see, so 2 dots means 1 level up, okay. But what does a single dot mean? This is a slash, there's no slash in the beginning, then we have 2 dots. What does it mean when it has 1 dot? What does that also mean? That is 1 space, one level up? Let's find out. So if I remove this, will it work? If I run this, there's no change. Okay, so it's a relative file path. Okay, what if I add another dot and run it? The image has disappeared, and you can see then it also has alt text mountain. Makes sense. So if it's 2 dots or 1 dot, we have to assume that the folder is one level up. Okay, so yeah, it's for our learning. Well, let's find out. Maybe it will give us an explanation later. Nope, it did not, unfortunately, but no problem. Now what does it say? Browsers can apply default margin and padding values to specific elements. So yes, to make sure your piano looks correct, you need to reset the box model. Okay, so HTML rule selector. Now instead of a type selector, they are mentioning it as a rule selector. So we'll quickly Google what a rule selector is. So rule selector is the first part of the CSS rule. It is a pattern of elements and other terms that tell the browsers know which HTML should be selected. अच्छा, तो HTML के अंदर जितने भी हैं, let's read a little bit more. What is a selector? A CSS selector is the first part of a CSS rule. Yes, it is a pattern of elements and other terms that tell the browser which HTML should be selected to have CSS properties values inside. Apply to them. Makes sense. Now we have selector lists. So if you have more than one thing which uses, okay, so h1 then h1 commas, so this is a combination, so ये दोनों elements को manipulate करेगा. Then h1 comma, white space is valid before you also find the selections more readable, so doesn't matter if there is any space. Now we have type selectors. What is that? So interactive editor. Oh, I see. So that is span. If I add blue, oh, it becomes blue, doesn't matter. Green, and we're wasting time now. Let's find out what, yeah, great, that's what we were looking for. Types of selectors, type, class and ID selectors. So we have type, class and ID selectors. This group includes selectors that target an HTML such as h1. So of course we've come across ID, type, class and ID selectors before. Then we have attribute selectors. This is how we select an attribute. Then we have selection based. Oh, that is cool. Then we have hover, which are pseudo classes. Summary, we didn't find what a rule selector is. That is new for us. So but it says what is a selector, so that's not the part of this. So what is a rule selector? Let me try ask it again. What are rule sets? What is a rule or rule set? A rule set consists of a selector followed by a declaration block. Rule structure, rule.gif, rule syntax, a CSS rule. So yeah, that is the rule. That's what we call the rule. Well, that's what everyone calls the rule, if I say so. HTML, Mozilla does at least. And what will we do? So we'll put a rule selector to your CSS file. Okay, we are inside the CSS file right now, and we'll put a box sizing. So box hyphen sizing property, and the moment I pressed spacebar, you can see it changed colors. So that means it is accepting that property, and we'll make it border box. Now I am intrigued what this does. So what I'll do is I'll give it a color to see what exactly changed after we added this property and this value. So I'll write, what will I write? I'll write green. I can see that color appearing. That doesn't change anything. Why? Maybe it's because for the box sizing. So what if I write box color? Is that property valid? Nope, unfortunately not. That property is not valid. If I write box, nope, no way. Okay, no problem. But we'll find out what it does, box sizing, or we can just Google and find out what box sizing does. So of course we can use W3 schools, and I'll go to the search bar here and I'll write box hyphen sizing. Another thing I can do is I have this list with me right here. I can use the command F function and I'll write sizing, sorry, not signing, not it should be sizing, and I can see two values, and we have box sizing here. Let's read what box sizing does. So include padding and border in the elements total width and height. Okay, so ये padding डालता है. How the width of an height will calculated. So box size is a border box is a value of box sizing, and it allows these four property values. So content box is the default size, the width and height properties includes content padding and border. This may content padding and border. Nice. Okay, so I'm getting some idea. Let's read a few more. It will give us, maybe we'll try it and we can see what it does. So right now that is the content, the text, and that is the padding that you see, which is red in color, and that is probably the element. So what if I change border box to content box? So instead of border I write content box. Let's run it here. You can see it wrapped the text. Why did it wrap the text? The width and height properties includes only the content. The border and padding are not included. Okay. Let's write initial. We'll run this. No change. But if I write border box, they are in the same line. So it will adjust itself. I don't know what's going on, but that is very interesting to see. Div with the glass box. Okay. Makes sense? Well, it doesn't make sense, but I think maybe we'll do more of this. We'll write more of this and we'll understand later. Step 9. And I can see we have 4 concurrent viewers. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for support. And please also, well, I'm out of words. Please also share this live video with your friends. आप उनको भी बताइए अगर उनको भी HTML CSS में interest है, then you can look at my videos and maybe try to learn something from it. And let's move on to the step 10. Thank you so much, guys. Really. अभी क्या बता रहा है ये? अरे बाप रे. Oh, that is a good long explanation. So what does this say? Now that you have reset the HTML box model, so by default it was content box. It says default, so when we don't write anything, by default it sets the value. Wow, we have 5 viewers. Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. और लोगों को बुलाइए. Now that you have reset the HTML box model, okay, you need to pass that on to the elements within as well. अच्छा, तो भाई सिर्फ हमने HTML element पे हमने वो box model apply किया था, which is this border box, which is for the box sizing property. But now you need to pass that on to the elements within. So उसके अंदर के elements, so all the child elements. So HTML के अंदर जो भी head, body सब आता है, div आता है, whatever number of elements आते हैं. To do this, you can set the box sizing property to inherit. Nice. We saw inherit here. Inherits this property from its parent element. So we'll set it to inherit, which will tell the targeted elements to use the same value as the parent element, and their parent would be of course HTML. but थोड़ा आगे पढ़ते हैं, finish करते हैं पूरा line, पूरा paragraph. You will also need to target pseudo elements. Oh, we still have 5 viewers. Amazing stuff, guys. You will also need to target the pseudo elements भी करना है, which are special keywords that follow a selector. Yes. After 2 pseudo elements you will be using, the 2 pseudo elements you will be using are before and after pseudo elements. Before and after. Before selector creates a pseudo element, which is the first child of the selected element. First child of the selected element. अच्छा, तो कोई क्लास होगा और उस क्लास के अंदर मैंने कोई और एलिमेंट लिया है. लेट्स से मैंने एक div लिया है और उसके अंदर मैंने 5 div डाले, तो वो फर्स्ट div को लेगा. Okay, it will select the first div. So that's what before does. And after selector creates a pseudo element, which is the last child of the selected element. So before we'll take the first value, in my example it will take the first value, before we'll take the first value, and after we'll take the last value. Okay, these pseudo elements are often used to create cosmetic content, which you will see later in this project. So we'll see that later in the project, nothing to worry about. For now, create a CSS selector. So this is the instruction, but हमें इस थोड़ा इससे समझा दे कि ये क्या है, क्या कर रहे हैं. So great. Moving on. For now, so अभी के लिए हम क्या करेंगे, create a CSS selector to target all the elements with asterisk. Yes. So after HTML, I'll press enter and I'll keep the spacing so that तो even spacing रखते हैं. I'll put the asterisk and open the curly brackets and include the pseudo elements. Wow, how will I include the pseudo elements? Yeah. So to include the pseudo elements too, I will also add it to the list before, and I will also put after. So now it is a list, a lister. Nice. It is a list, and notice how I've put commas in there because I want to show that it is a list. Now I want to show, and that's how the browser will interpret the class, the selector. Now what will we write? So we'll write box hyphen sizing property, and we'll write inherit. So it will inherit the property, the box sizing property from this HTML value, border box. अभी हर एक में तुम border box value ही डालोगे. And we're good to go. As you can see, commas worked. अगर ये commas नहीं होते तो फिर ये दिखाता कि भाई इसके अंदर जिसमें भी before property है, जो before pseudo element के अंदर जो after element है वही select करना. So that's why we're not using spaces. Moving on, step 11. We've already finished step 11. It's not even been half an hour. So now we will target our piano element with an ID selector. Okay. So क्या करेंगे? Just a second. So okay. So when we use ID selector, we press hash, and that's how we select an ID. Now we're going to select the piano element, piano ID, div with the ID piano, and we'll set the background color property to this, and the width property and the height property. Unfortunately, we haven't written this in this document before. इसके पहले हमने कभी लिखा नहीं है इस डॉक्यूमेंट में बैकग्राउंड कलर, तो ये मैं एक बार लिख दूंगा. देन इफ़ वी कम अक्रॉस, अगर हम लोग कोई और एलिमेंट में वापस बैकग्राउंड कलर विथ और हाइट डालने वाले हैं, विच वी विल, then I can copy these properties and then I can reuse them at my leisure. So 00471B, and you can see green color, but यहाँ पे अभी तक कुछ आया नहीं है. Nothing to worry about guys, क्योंकि हमने width और height set नहीं की है. So width, oh there's a space, there's an unnecessary space. We'll make it 992 px. Still nothing is visible in the preview because we haven't added the height property yet. So height डालेंगे 290 px. Oh sorry, px, and something has appeared. I will open this in a new tab to see कि ये कितना बड़ा है, and you can see this is how big it is. Now moving on, let's check whether we are done with this step. Yes, we are. Now on to step 12. So what does this say? Set the margin. So we'll add the margin property of the piano. So we're still editing the piano selector, piano ID selector. So I'll set the margin. margin. These two values mean that the first value is for the top and the bottom value spaces, and you can see now it's its space has changed, it has moved, and I'll press space and I'll write auto. So from the left and the right it will be equidistant. So it will basically be in the center. Even if I resize this will stay in the virtual center. You can see how it moves, but it is based on the resizing. So मैं resize कर दूँगा लेकिन ये फिर भी center में ही रहेगा. मैं जितना इसको resize करूँगा ये center में ही रहेगा क्योंकि इसकी width और height भी हमने set कर दी है और हमने इसकी margin properties auto and 80 pixels कर दिए. So top say 80 pixels, bottom say 80 pixels. Anyway, we'll probably give it a border radius too, but that's for the next steps, so don't worry. But this is the outline of the piano. ये जो अपने green color हमने देखा था पहले वो है. And we'll add the elements, every element inside this. Sorry. Okay. So let's see. We can go to the next step. Step 13. What does this say? Time to style the keys. Okay. We can see here that we have moved past the piano. And now we're going to style the keys. So below the hash piano rule, target the dot keys element. When it says dot keys, that means we're going to add a class selector. So I can simply write dot keys, and now we have selected a class dot keys element with a class selector. So that's literally we give the new rule a background color property. So we'll quickly write background colon, sorry, we're supposed to give it a background color. So background color, and we would give it the value 040404 semicolon, and we don't have the preview open, sorry about that. And nothing has appeared yet because we haven't given it the width and the height property so far. Okay, so I can copy these values. We'll probably be asked to add the margin next, but let's worry about that later. Copy, paste, and instead of 992 and 290, you can see that this has appeared. So this will probably be a black key, the black keys. That is an amazing man, check it out. So 992 की जगह हम लोग 949 लिखेंगे. So the width has changed. You can see the width has changed. This is for the key, so we have 9 keys. So they're not evenly spaced. So you're seeing one large block right now, but it will change. Now we'll change the height from 290 to 180. So I'll change 29 to 18, and no change so far because it is that large. Okay. So width 949 and height 180 pixels. Wow. If the height is 180 pixels, why is it so long? Maybe I need to refresh. I can't refresh the thing. I have to preview it from here. Okay, let's find out what next are we supposed to do. What are we supposed to do next? So, did I do anything right? We're supposed to select the keys selector, not the keys selector. My bad, guys. And now it makes much more sense. Oh, because of the key, there were there were 13 keys. I think no, not 13. There were 21 keys stacked on top of each other. That's why there were so many. So this is the value of the key, but ये 21 times stacked थे, so they looked like it. But we are supposed to select the keys element and not the key element. Now we go to the 14th step. Now give the keys a padding left of 2 pixels. So that is also very easy. Padding -left. So हम लोग सिर्फ left को target कर रहे हैं पूरे element या पूरे select या what should I say पूरे element या पूरे element के left top bottom right को हम लोग select नहीं कर रहे हैं. We're only selecting the left. So left padding लिखेंगे हम लोग 2px and nothing changed, or did it change? I don't see the change. Maybe I'll remove this and nope, nothing changed. Did I write everything right? Give the keys a padding left of 2 pixels. What if I write 20? Nothing has changed so far. Maybe I'll open the preview, शायद उसमें दिखेगा. What if I'm, instead of 20 I write 200? Nothing has changed, so I'm not sure whether we have accomplished this, but yeah, that is very clear. It says class selector keys, so we have class selector keys here, padding hyphen left, that is the property of 2 pixels. So we are correct so far. Maybe it is supposed to look that way. It is supposed to look that way for now. And moving on to step 15, move the keys into position by adjusting the piano selector. Okay, so we are inside the piano ID selector. Now we'll set the padding property. So in the padding property, हम लोग top, right, bottom and left property sides की values अलग अलग रखने वाले. So we have, that's why we have 4 different values. And we could also write it this way, that we write padding top, padding bottom, padding right, or we could also write it this way. This is much easier. हमें ज़्यादा type करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, and we can get it done. So now we have set the padding for the piano. Interesting. Oh, okay. What if I change this to 0 pixels? So it moved. I see. Okay. So then what was that there for? What does this do? What if I make is 200 now? अच्छा, ये कीज़ के अंदर के पैडिंग का होगा. Okay. Yeah, ये अंदर के पैडिंग का है. And for piano they've set the padding this way. So यहाँ से from the top it's 90 pixels. So it moved from the top to more to the bottom. We can check that out right now. You can see I changed the value 90 to 9 and it moved up immediately. Now it's back below. What if I change this? So this must be the right property. What if I make it 200? What if I make it 2000? You can see that the padding has changed. Or 2000 by gaya. We didn't change the size of this. We changed the size of the piano, the padding of the piano. Yep. What if I make it 20 again and it's back to 20? Okay. The same way this. Nice. And then we can go to the next challenge. Now we are on step 16. Time to style the keys themselves. Keys के लिए हमने class add किया था, I think. Yes, we did. So it says create a class selector. So we'll write dot key, not keys this time. That was a blunder. And we'll set the background color, position. Yeah, so these are new properties. Width, height, that is not a new property. We can copy these and we'll change the values. तो यहाँ पे जाएंगे and I'll paste it. Instead of this color, we'll change it to FFFF, which is white. FFFFFF. So that is white. You can see that it looks white now. And these keys will probably change the width and the height for the next step, because the width and the height is from this background color. Anyway, so width will be, what will it be? So it says width will be 41 instead of 40 or whatever that was. So we can see that the width has changed. I see. So all the keys are stacked on top, maybe, or maybe they're stacked on these. Probably, because we shouldn't be able to scroll this far. You can see on your right that we were able to scroll. So yes, these are all 21 keys, I believe. I hope. Now we'll set the height property 175 pixels. One quick way to check that out is to give it a different color. So FF0. this 2, 3, 4, and it has become yellow now. And you can see these keys are stacked on top of each other. Even if you still don't believe me, I can give it a border property of, don't worry, 2 pixels, solid and black. Oh, sorry, there shouldn't be a colon, and you will be able to see it now. So now we can see those 21 keys stacked on top of each other, and now it makes much more sense. I don't need this property, we're not supposed to add this property, so I'll just change it. Now we're going to position it to relative, so relative. Let's find out what that does. No change so far. Position relative, and we give it the width and the height property. Makes sense? Let's go to the next. Okay, maybe I missed something. Position to relative, width property to 41 pixels, height property 175 pixels. What are we? Did I not mention that? Oh yeah, we're supposed to change the color to white. Yeah, sorry. And we can go to the next step. You can see that with every step this also refreshes, so do not worry. This as in the preview. The preview does not preview also refreshes itself after every step. So we go to step 17 now. What does this say? So give the key a margin of 2 pixels. Okay. So from all sides it will be 2 pixels. Spacing देख सकते हैं आप, यहाँ पे spacing आ गया है. There is some sound. And now you can give a semicolon value, and that is a new property called float. We will find that out. Let me write it first and let's see what it does. So sorry, float left. So it's supposed, yeah, it moved them from it was vertical before, now it's horizontal. Let's see. What if I write right? That did nothing. Well, it didn't do nothing. It did change the space. So you know what, let me find out what this does. So float, we have the float property. What does this do? So let an image float to the right. So this is what the example does. So let the image float to the right. So जितने भी हमने अभी क्लास सेलेक्टर यूज़ किया है, तो इस क्लास के अंदर जो भी मतलब जितने भी डिव में हमने ये क्लास डाला है, उस सबको वो अप्लाई करेगा. ओके, but that is amazing. They are not stacked on top of each other. Neither are they on the same position. They are placed relative. So what if I change their position from relative to absolute? Will that change things? Yes, सभी वो एक ही जगह पे हैं. So when we press the relative and we write float right, float left, then they move from the left to right. Okay, so quickly I'll write, instead of absolute I'll write relative. So the relative position, very nice. And float right. So I think we can see the gap here. Why we can see the gap here is because अभी उसने right से शुरू किया है elements को place करना. I could be wrong, but let's find out. Let the image float to the right. Well, float to the right. Okay. So the float property specifies whether an element should float to the left, right, or not at all. Okay. Absolutely positioned elements. You can see that in the notes. अगर मैं absolute लिखूँगा position, then it will not float this way. It will be on the same place. So this says ignore the float property. They do. We saw that by with our own eyes. Elements next to a floating element will flow around it. To avoid this, use the clear property or clear fix hat. See example at the bottom of this page. Okay. So what does this say? Default value none. अच्छा तो कुछ okay. Inherited no. Animatable no. Version no. Version 1. Whatever. What does this say? So these are the values we can use. None is the by default value, but 1 is the default value. It says that this is default. Then left says the element floats to the left of its container, to the left of its container. तो जो भी container में होंगे वो left float करेंगे, to the left. Now they're floating to the right, so you can see there's more gap here and there's less black gap here. If you don't see it, let me zoom it in for you. That is the highest zoom. So यहाँ पे जो space है, if you notice the space here, it is larger than this space. Okay, so let's make it left again, and we'll probably check this preview again. Now we can see this space is even. ये space और ये space में कोई फ़र्क नहीं है, and end में भी वो equally divided है. Wow, interesting. That is some interesting stuff happening. We can of course read the previous CSS files. So keys के अंदर background element हमने padding डाला है. So if I remove the padding, and you can see the gap has changed from the left, of course. अच्छा, इसलिए left से डाला है. What if there were no padding at all? Then it would float from the left. तो भी थोड़ा spacing है, probably because of the margin, or maybe not. इसमें margin डालिए. Yes. Remove the margin both from here and from here. You'll be able to see that ये चिपक गया. Makes sense? Yeah, just quickly press Command Z to put it back, and you can see it is evenly spaced from the left and the right, and it is evenly spaced. It is coming together. ये तो almost keys आ गई सारी. I think some of these keys will become black keys now, and we'll also have the freeCodeCamp logo, and then we'll also give these values some box radius property value, I forgot what it's called, but it will involve radius so that it looks curved, just like the keyboard's keys do or a piano's keys do. Okay, so let's say give the key a margin of 2 pixels कर दिया, and a float property set to left. We have finished this step. Now we are on step 18. That's another explanation. Now we're going to use pseudo selectors. क्या करेंगे pseudo selectors में? So let's read. Now it is time to use the pseudo selectors you prepared for earlier. Yes, we did. To create the black keys. Yes. So we're going to add this selector. So let's read what this does. Slowly we'll try to understand what this does. So we're going to select the class div with the class key, और जितने भी div है जिसमें class key है उसके अंदर हम ये selector ये element select करेंगे जिसकी class value है black key. So let me open index.html and let's see this. So we have 3 sets of these keys, what we call keys. So इस class में कोई key लिखा है लेकिन उसके अंदर black key नहीं है, तो ये इसको target नहीं करेगा. It will target this black key. You can see here. So key class और उसके अंदर black key, and we use dot for class selectors, so do nothing to worry about. And after that we're going to add a pseudo selector called after. That means the last element, the last child element of the container. Okay, let's read this. So and it also gives us an explanation, so maybe whatever I missed this will have covered, whatever I was wrong about this will cover it. So this says this will target the elements with the class key black key. Yes, right so far. And select the pseudo element after these elements. Select the pseudo elements after these elements in the HTML. Pseudo elements after these elements. So इसके बाद क्या pseudo elements आएंगे? What does this mean? Pseudo elements after these. Let's find out what a pseudo element is now. We understood what pseudo selectors are, but what is a pseudo element? So in CSS, Pseudo element is used to style specified parts of an element. For example, it can be used to style the first letter, a line, or an element. Okay, first letter or line of an element, insert content before or after the content of an element. Yep. We use that for question 1 2. We have 3 viewers. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And what does this say? So the first line is used to add a special style to the first line of a text. So first line, we have different properties and different values. Well, we have different, if I'd say so this is also a pseudo element, and you can see in the scroll bar here, horizontal scroll bar, that it is a lot. And let's go to the after pseudo element. So what does this say? Can be used to insert some content after the content of an element. Acha. The following examples: inserts an image after the content of each h1 element. अच्छा, उसके बाद डालेगा वो. So I'll place it after the black key. Okay. So after these elements, so select the pseudo element. What does that mean? Will it select the div class, div with the class key? Let's find out. Let's read. Let's maybe code this and see how it affects that. So okay, let's read further to in the new selector. So I will go back to, but we understood that it is going to target these divs with the class key and with the black key. Okay, so I'll close this. Now what does this say? So in the new selector, so we're going to create a new selector with this value. We can do that later. Let's read first. We'll set the background color, तो उसका color आ जाएगा. Then we'll also give it the value, the property, the background color, the value color, this color. Also set the content property to double quotes empty. So this will make the pseudo elements empty. Yep. So when we use two double quotes with nothing inside those quotes, that means it's empty. It's supposed to be empty. The content will be empty. Okay. Now the content property is used. So they're going to explain to us what content property does and what it is used for. So is used to set or override the content, okay, of the element. Okay, set or override. By default, the pseudo elements created, that is the alarm. So by default, the pseudo elements created by the before and after pseudo selectors are empty. तो हम लोग empty डाल क्यों रहे हैं? Let's find out. And the elements will not be rendered to the page. तो जब empty करते हैं तो वो content पे हम लोग जो भी effects डालेंगे वो visible नहीं है. Wow, that is a new high. We have 6 viewers now. So thank you so much, guys. I can see. अरे वाह, we have someone अभी, we have 7 viewers. Amazing. That is अभी. Thank you so much for your support. आप live कैसे करते हो? That must be your question. So भाई, अभी मैं यूज़ करता हूँ OBS का नाम मैं quickly आपको मैं उसकी OBS की लिंक आपके साथ शेयर कर देता हूँ. हमने OBS सेटअप के वीडियोस भी बनाए हैं एंड यू कैन लर्न दैट हाउ टू सेटअप OBS, और आप वो वीडियो देख के अपना OBS स्ट्रीमिंग लाइव शुरू कर सकते हो. ऑफ कोर्स कुछ प्री रिक्विजिट्स है जो हमने उसमें मेंशन नहीं किए, जैसे आपका खुद का यूट्यूब चैनल आपका सेटअप कर दिया होना चाहिए. बट आई थिंक यू विल हैव ए फेयर आइडिया बाय वॉचिंग आवर यूट्यूब वीडियोस. सो मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं यूट्यूब ओपन करता हूँ एंड इन यूट्यूब आई राइट स्पोकन एसेज, और मैं वो लिंक आपके साथ डिस्क्रिप्शन में शेयर कर देता हूँ. मैं क्या करूँगा, आई विल गो टू आवर लाइव वीडियोस. मी एंड अ फ्रेंड ऑफ माइन कुशाग्र, हम दोनों ने मिल के बनाया था. सो यू कैन सी वी हैव मेड अ लॉट ऑफ लाइव्स, वी हैव बीन लाइव अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. सो यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे, सो OBS प्लगइन्स एंड फिल्टर्स सेटअप. सो OBS नाम का सॉफ्टवेयर है बेसिकली, एंड मैं आपको वो भी दिखाऊंगा मैक मिनी अनबॉक्सिंग. उसके अंदर हमने, इफ़ यू सी द लेटर पार्ट ऑफ द वीडियो, आपको दिखेगा कि हमने उसमें OBS कैसे सेटअप किया था. तो ये दोनों हैं हमारे लाइव के फर्स्ट 2 वीडियोस. इन दोनों की लिंक मैं आपके साथ डिस्क्रिप्शन में शेयर कर देता हूँ. and you can check it out for yourselves. So copy link address कर दी मैंने right click करके, and I'll go to description. Just be patient, अभी मैं आपके साथ share कर देता हूँ. So description में जाएंगे and I'll add the first link to our video, Mac Mini unboxing. आपको लगेगा Mac Mini unboxing में OBS कहाँ से आया, सो डोंट वरी. हम लोग जब सेटअप कर रहे थे तो उसमें सॉफ्टवेयर इंस्टॉल करते वक्त हमने OBS को भी इंस्टॉल किया था, तो उस वक्त आपको देख के समझ आ जाएगा. एंड व्हाट एल्स आर वी सपोज टू डू, सो मैं इसकी भी लिंक शेयर कर देता हूँ, कॉपी लिंक एड्रेस. और अगर गलती से आपको अगर हमने कुछ मिस कर दिया हो, देन यू कैन ऑल्सो लुक फॉर OBS डिफरेंट सेटिंग्स. ये भी आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन में मैं दोनों वीडियोस के लिंक डाल देता हूँ. जस्ट अ सेकंड एंड यू कैन चेक इट आउट फॉर योरसेल्फ. अभी थैंक यू सो मच. आप डिस्क्रिप्शन में देख लेंगे. अगर इस वीडियो में जिस लाइव में डिस्क्रिप्शन में आप देखेंगे तो आपको OBS फिल्टर्स एंड प्लगइन्स सेटअप दिख जाएगा. नाउ मूविंग ऑन, आई विल क्लोज दिस टैब. और हम लोग सर्च कर रहे थे, हम लोग रीड कर रहे थे इसको क्या, कंटेंट प्रॉपर्टी को. सो एंड एलिमेंट्स विल नॉट बी रेंडर्ड टू द पेज. सो अगर हम लोग वैल्यू रखते हैं empty, then they will not be rendered to the page, they will not be visible in the page. Okay, and I can see we reached 7 viewers in this video. See, 7 concurrent viewers. That is amazing news. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you very so much. Now moving on, setting the content property to an empty string. Okay, empty string, so we can also call this a string, will ensure the element is rendered to the page while still being empty. अच्छा, तो हम लोग empty की जगह हम लोग ये लिखेंगे, when we'll put these double quotes that also mean empty. It will ensure that वो empty होने के बावजूद भी दिखेगा. Okay, if you would like to experiment, yes we would. Try removing the background color property and setting different values for the content property, such as this heart symbol. You know what, we will try that. Remember to undo these changes when you are done so the tests pass. So yes, we will do that. So मैं यहाँ पे जाऊँगा shift press, copy paste, and now we're going to make it a class selector. Again, what this will target is जो भी divs में हमने key class डाली है, and we've also added the class black hyphen key, वो क्लासेस को सिलेक्ट करेगा. सो की क्लासेस के अंदर ब्लैक की क्लासेस, एंड उसके अंदर आफ्टर, सो उसके बाद वाली वैल्यूज़ पे वो वैल्यू डालेगा. विल ऑल्सो डू इट, सो आपको देख के भी समझ आएगा. सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज़, फर्स्ट विल गिव इट द कलर बैकग्राउंड कलर प्रॉपर्टी, and I'll paste it here. Oh, sorry about that. I have to copy this text first. Copy and paste. And what color are we supposed to give? तो यहाँ पे कुछ लिखा होना चाहिए. That is the color property value. Color properties value. You can see यहाँ पे सिर्फ ऐसे नंबर डालने से कुछ नहीं होता. We have to give it the hash value so that it understands that we've given it a hex code और वो color करेगा. Now इसका कोई width नहीं है, कुछ size नहीं है, nothing है. It doesn't have anything, so it doesn't look like anything so far, but it does have a color. How? So we can change this color to FFFFF. That will make it completely white. So you know what, I'll just close these tabs. Okay, nothing has happened so far क्योंकि हम लोग black key के बाद का कुछ कर रहे हैं. So let me make this interesting. 5. That is a yellow color. Nothing so far, probably because we haven't mentioned the width and the height. So content, and content में हम लोग लिख देंगे double quotes. So it will be visible, but it will be empty, so we can't see anything. Now instead of empty, we will give this a heart emoji. You know what? I'll use the max property, the function button. उसको दबाने से यहाँ पे एक डायलॉग बॉक्स दिख जाएगा, and you can see these emojis have popped up. So let's try putting these emojis. मैं क्या करूँगा, I'll put the heart eyes emoji and I'll put that here. Unfortunately, maybe freeCodeCamp doesn't allow us to put the emojis, but we have solutions for those too. अरे बाप रे, ये क्या हो गया? yeah, it opened a new tab here unfortunately. Okay, यहाँ पे मैं click करूँगा. I'll click on this to make it the active tab active window. और यहाँ पे मैं क्या करूँगा, I'll press function की दबा के मैं वापस वो, you know what, I'll put the alien here. That worked. We have an alien here now, and in the content value we'll put the alien, and we can see the alien has appeared, and the background color with the background color yellow. Acha, you know what, without the content, let's see whether we can make it. So I'll use the z index property. हमने z index property कल extensively cover की थी when we were making the Picasso painting. Make sure to check it out, and I'll make it 999. So now it will stay on top. अभी इसको content में खाली कर देता हूँ, but because it doesn't have any content, we can't see anything. अगर इसको मैं खाली कर दूँ तो क्या करेगा? We won't be able to see it because it doesn't have any value. Wow. But now you can see these emojis. आपको दिख रहा है? I'll zoom in a little bit more for you. You can see this alien emoji has appeared. And what if I copy this alien emoji and I paste it a few more times? Yep, you can see these emojis are here now. Makes sense? That is good stuff. That is good stuff. So yeah, we've played around with it enough. ये z index की ज़रूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर इसको मैं -1 कर दूँगा तो वो नीचे चला जाएगा. नहीं गया, क्या बात है? What if I write -100? Nope. So z index is not allowed here somehow. So what else does this do? What else are we supposed to do? Nothing for now. But yeah, so yeah, by default it is empty. और अगर हम लोग content कुछ नहीं डालते तो वो दिखेगा भी नहीं. But by using these double quotes, we make sure that it is on the page. Okay. Now we go to the next page. I'll press Command Enter. Oh yeah, I have to change the color again. Sorry. I'll just copy. We are supposed to use this color, which is a shade of black. अगर आपको देखना हो कि ये क्या color, उसके क्या values है, then you can click on this icon that is a square, and it will show you. Oh, and you cannot move the mouse, unfortunately. Thank you, Abhi. Hope you found your answer. And you can see that this is the color. If I move the mouse, it will disappear, but if you double click on it, or you just simply click the square, well, drag and select the square, then that will appear. Oh, I think I find double click to work best all the time. So this is a shade of blue, a darker shade of blue. Moving on, we have डाल दी values, and we can go to the next step. Step 19. This does not have many steps, but it is indeed taking some time. Anyway, anywho, I'll write. So we're supposed to give the key, black key, after a position property to absolute. Nice. Okay, so position to absolute, and a left property. अच्छा, so what is this position property for? ये हमने पिकासो की पेंटिंग में भी सीखा था. Position property use करके हम इसको move कर सकते हैं. Let's say we have any div element, we have any object, we can move that object anywhere we like using this position property and the value absolute. और हम कैसे move करते हैं? So we use left, right and top and bottom. So मैं left लिखूँगा, and we are this object, this key, black key object is inside these keys. तो उसके अंदर ही move होगा, उसके बाहर move नहीं होगा. I think so, but I could be wrong. Let's find out. So we're supposed to add -18 pixels. Nothing so far, क्योंकि इसका कुछ color ही नहीं है, कुछ value नहीं है. If I write this, then and only then will I be able to see any text. And you can see now from the left ये -18 pixels move कर दिया है. Interesting. उसने move किया है. Yeah. So yeah, this is where it was. This is empty. Yeah, first value was empty. Yeah, it makes sense. तो ये -18 pixels उसने move किया है. What if I were to write top minus 100, so then it would move up. So we can move it literally anywhere. It doesn't even need to be in a container. अगर HTML में हमने अपने container में डाल भी दिया है, it doesn't matter if you use the position property. Now I don't need that top, and हमने position absolute कर दिया, and left property is set to minus 18 pixels. Makes sense. ये क्यों कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि हमने नोटिस, आपने अगर नोटिस किया हो तो कीबोर्ड में interesting, it allowed the content value. Interesting. बेसिकली हम लोग ब्लैक की के साथ क्या कर रहे हैं तो हम लोग ये कर रहे हैं कि अब अपने ब्लैक कीज़ को नोटिस किया होगा, वो ब्लैक कीज़ दोनों के बीच में होती है, दोनों वाइट कीज़ के बीच में होती है. सो दैट्स वाई वी मूव्ड इट लेफ्ट बाय माइनस 18 पिक्सल्स, तो लेफ्ट में दिखेगा. नाउ या वी कैन गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्टेप. नाउ we'll give it a width and a height property. जैसे हम लोग इसको width and height property दे देंगे, it will look like a key. So I'll go to after left I will write width लिखेंगे is 32 pixels. I can also copy the properties from above, but I feel like typing it now, so we'll type it. So px and semicolon, और जैसे ही हमने ये values add की, you will notice a difference in the preview. You can see the keys have appeared. इसको मैं हटा दूँ तो they will disappear of course, and make it this way. अभी अगर मैं यहाँ पे कोई emoji डालता हूँ तो वो क्या करेगा? Let's put this dancing man emoji once, and you can see a dancing man emoji. Copy and paste it a few more times. And you can see the dancing man emoji has appeared. Anyway, we don't need that content, हम लोग empty रखने वाले हैं. What if I were to remove this content property? So then that would disappear. So that's what it is for. हम लोग जो डबल कोट्स डालते हैं, इससे इंश्योर होता है कि जो भी हम लोग कंटेंट या फिर हम लोग ये जो भी आफ्टर एट्रीब्यूट के अंदर डाल रहे हैं, सूडो सिलेक्टर के अंदर डाल रहे हैं, वो सब विजिबल रहेगा ऑन द वेब पेज. मेक सेंस? Now I think we've given it all the values it needs for this step, and we can give it go to the next step. So now we are on step 21, almost halfway. We finished half the video, and let's see. So the PM needs the freeCodeCamp logo to make it official. Yes, we do. और ये हम लोग freeCodeCamp logo यहाँ पे डालने वाले हैं. And we're back to the index.html file. We'll probably use the image element. So let's read further. क्या बता रहे? So the piano needs the freeCodeCamp logo to make it official. Like I said, we're going to use the image element before your dot keys element. So this is, so when we say dot keys, they are referring to a class. Class is for dots are used for classes in CSS. So HTML में हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि हम लोग dot keys के पहले डालने वाले हैं. So but it will be inside this div piano. What is this div? So this what you see, the green color is the div called piano, div with the id piano. So I'll put the image attribute. image के अंदर source लिखेंगे, source में हम लोग ये link डालने वाला है. But let's finish reading this first. So give the image a class of logo. So image को class value भी देनी है, so that we can manipulate this image too. So what we'll write, so give the image a class of logo. So we'll probably manipulate a dot logo in the styles.css file and set the source to this. So copy HTTPS from this to this. You know what, I haven't googled what this actually means. I have been hoping it's source, but we can check now. src in HTML full form. It says what that is programming subsystem communication. That is, it says source src attribute specifies the location. Okay, it means source in HTML, so I was right. Moving on, this is the preview and we can see the free, oh my god, okay, तो ये freeCodeCamp ने पूरी जगह ले ली है. And we don't want that. We'll probably use CSS to change its size to a little bit less. we'll probably use pixels for that, maybe 16 pixels, maybe some less. So ये हमने primary svg ले लिया है value. Because this is an svg value, so by default it will take the default size. What else does this say? So give it an alt text of freeCodeCamp logo. So in case this logo isn't visible, then we will use the space, of course. So I'll write alt equals double quotes this value, and we'll close the tag. So you can see the image tag is a self-closing tag. We don't need to put the closing tag. Now you can see जैसे हमने tag को close किया, that appeared. Oh, sorry. Okay. And we can see, but these keys are now below the logo freeCodeCamp, so we'll have to use CSS to edit it. And you can see Bhaji Kai. Anyway, yep, that concludes it. Now we go to the next step, that is step 22. What does this say? Start styling the logo by creating a .logo selector. We saw that. So .logo, it means that we are selecting a class with the name logo, class attribute with the value logo. So what does this say? Set the width to this and position to this and top to this. So height नहीं डालने वाले. So what I'll do is यहाँ से मैं width, left and position copy कर दूँगा. Sorry, from here till here. Copy this, and we will change the values. Do not worry, guys. So we're not only supposed to copy, we're also supposed to change the values after we copy. So position absolute, इसमें कुछ change नहीं करना पड़ेगा. For left value, अच्छा left की जगह top use करने वाला है. So instead of left I will write top, and from -18 pixels I will make it 23 pixels. And we can see the freeCodeCamp logo has disappeared, but do not worry. After we write the width to, we're not supposed to, after we make the width 200 pixels, it will surely appear. Nope, it did not. Something still wrong. Maybe let's check. So I'll move it here with 200 pixels. That also did nothing. So with 200 pixels, position absolute and top set to 23 pixels. Okay, let's see क्या होता है इससे. It's probably somewhere around here. Oh, when I dragged it, I could see. You can see that, guys. So यहाँ पे है वो अभी logo. We'll have to move it a little bit here. क्यों? क्योंकि अभी यहाँ पे दिख नहीं रहा है logo. That's why. So now we go to step 23. The image element needs its parent to have a position set as point of reference. Okay. So what will we do? Okay. इसका मतलब समझ नहीं आया. The image element, okay, HTML में जो हमने image element add किया, needs its parent. So it is inside a div element called piano. That is some, yeah, वो फेरी आते रहते. Anyway, this says needs its parent to have a position set as point. So now you can see here that we are on the ID selector piano, set as point of reference. So set the position of the piano to relative. So उसकी position relative रहेगी instead of the default. So write position instead of absolute or anything else. We will write relative. ये करेंगे तो freeCodeCamp logo आ गया. Nice. That is also a meme. Nice meme. I will like to show you this. Nice. You must have come across this meme before. Wow. Nice. Anyway, we can move to the next step. Step 24. To smooth the sharp edges of the piano and keys, we will use the border radius. Yes, that's what we are talking about. So border radius हम लोग, we are still in piano, तो पहले हम piano की border radius डालेंगे. सेट करेंगे वैल्यू. सो I'll write border hyphen radius y because it is a circle if you think about it, all the curves. So 10 pixels, oh sorry, semicolon बराबर डाल दें. Okay, yeah, and you can see it is curved now. What if I were to write, क्योंकि हम ज़्यादा कर्व्स नहीं डाल सकते, नहीं तो फिर ये सर्कल, दिस वोंट बी स्टे अ रेक्टेंगल, इट विल बिकम एन ओवल. दैट्स वाई, टू शो यू गाइज वाई and how we can make an oval, I write 100% and now it is an oval. So when we make the border radius 100%, that's what happens. What if I make it 10%? That is also oval-ish, and that's why we use 100 pixels because it's relative. So 10 pixels, not 100 pixels. What if I make it 100 pixels? It will become curvier. Make sense? 10 pixels के साथ जा सकते हैं, and this is what it looks like. It does look nice. Now we'll give the keys the border radius. Why don't I copy this value? Sorry, and we can go to the next step. Give the key selector a border radius value of this. So यहाँ पे क्यों 4 वैल्यूज़ और वो जो प्रीवियस बॉर्डर रेडियस था उसमें क्यों एक वैल्यू? क्योंकि हमें इवनली दिखाना था, तो लेफ़्ट राइट, टॉप लेफ़्ट टॉप राइट, बॉटम लेफ़्ट बॉटम राइट से इक्वल कर्व्स दिखाने थे, इसलिए हमने सिर्फ एक वैल्यू यूज़ की. जैसे मैंने एक वैल्यू डाली यहाँ पे, उसने हर एक जगह पे अप्लाई कर दिया. बट फॉर दिस इट सेज की, फॉर दिस की विच इज़ दिस, ये जो वाला है, उसमें हम लोग लेफ़्ट राइट एंड टॉप लेफ़्ट टॉप राइट, बॉटम लेफ़्ट बॉटम राइट, कॉर्नर्स में अलग अलग वैल्यूज़ डालने वाले हैं. सो वी गो हियर, इंस्टेड ऑफ 10 पिक्सल्स, नन ऑफ देम नीड 10 पिक्सल्स, इसको 0 लिख देंगे. ये पिक्सल्स को मैं कहीं और यूज़ कर सकता हूँ. सो 0 0. सो दिस विल गिव दिस top left the value 0. You can see here no changes so far. थोड़ा zoom कर देता हूँ, clearly दिखेगा. Keep your eyes here guys, and I'll change the value from 0 to what, 10. Oh sorry, you know what, हर एक के साथ खेल के दिखाता हूँ मैं. So right now none of them have any curves. First we will change, this is bottom left, so we'll make it 10. यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं no change so far. Maybe I should make it 10 pixels. Oh sorry, this is for the keys. Oh, so these are for the separate keys. So for all the keys you can see here now ये curve आ गया है. So that's for the bottom left, so that edits the bottom left value. We're going to make it 3 pixels, not, oh that's 30 pixels. Nope. We're only going to keep it 3 pixels. So ये curve यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, but it's very minute. It looks yeah, less curvy. It's curvy, हाँ. And हम लोग, what is this value for? So this value is for, let me think, that must be for the bottom right, but let's confirm. So I'll write 3 pixels, and the bottom right is also curved now instead of sharp. So yes, these two values are for bottom right and bottom left. So this is the way order goes: top left, top right, bottom right, and bottom left. Make sense? And we've given it these values. That is nice. Now what else are we to do? So give the key, black key. Yeah, I can see that this is a pseudo selector. Well, after is the pseudo selector, these are normal class selectors. A border radius. So इसमें भी 4 वैल्यूज़ यूज़ करने हैं, इसमें भी 0 0 करने वाले हैं. What is this for? So हम इन कीज़ को भी कर्व्ड बना देंगे. How? So I can just copy these values. Do not copy the line break. I'll press enter and I'll press this. And border radius 0033 pixels. So we can see that now these are also curved. लेकिन top में कुछ curve change नहीं हुआ है. And we can go to the next step now. Steps 27. Now we're going to use the add rule, media add rule. It is also called a media query. And what does this do? So it is used to conditionally apply CSS. Achha, okay. Media queries are commonly used to apply CSS based on viewport width using the max width and minimum width properties. In the below example, the padding is applied to .card class when the viewport is 960 pixels wide and below. I see viewport. So viewport मतलब आपकी कंप्यूटर की स्क्रीन या मोबाइल की स्क्रीन में वो कितना दिखता है. सो किसी की स्क्रीन बड़ी होती है, स्क्रीन की साइज़ बड़ी होती है, किसी की स्क्रीन साइज़ छोटी होती है. व्यू-पोर्ट. सो अगर स्क्रीन की मैक्सिमम साइज़ मतलब स्क्रीन की साइज़ 960 पिक्सल से ज़्यादा है तो आपके फ़ोन में, आपके कंप्यूटर में वो थोड़ा अलग दिखेगा. Viewport, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a phone. अगर मैं let's say इस विंडो को रीसाइज करता हूँ, इस विंडो की साइज़ मैं कर देता हूँ छोटी, इतनी छोटी. So then some things change, इसकी साइज़ चेंज हो गई. You can see here. Oh sorry, I'll have to click on this window again and I'll place the cursor. अरे बाप रे, वो कौन सा उसने कॉपी कर लिया, whatever that is. You can see here. So now the size of the viewport has changed. It is probably below 960 pixels. तो उसमें इसका बिहेवियर चेंज हो जाएगा. किसका बिहेवियर चेंज हो जाएगा? जो भी हम लोग सिलेक्टर यूज़ कर रहे हैं उसका बिहेवियर चेंज हो जाएगा. So what does this do? So in the below example, the padding is applied to the card class when the viewport is 960 pixels wide and below. Wait, 960 pixels या फिर उससे बिलो जब व्यू-पोर्ट की साइज़ हो जाएगी, उसकी विथ साइज़ कम उतनी हो जाएगी तो वो अलग दिखेगा. लेट मी रीसाइज दिस अगेन. आई विल क्लिक ऑन द टॉप बार ट्वाइस. सो नाउ इट्स फुल स्क्रीन, बट इट्स नॉट एग्जैक्टली फुल स्क्रीन क्योंकि मुझे यहाँ पे 3 अभी भी डॉट्स दिख रहे हैं. सो व्हेन आई क्लिक ऑन दैट, दैट्स हाउ वी गो फुल स्क्रीन. एनीवे, व्हाट डज दिस से? सो द @ media rule, also known as the media query. So when we say @ media, it is a media query, aka also known as, is used to conditionally apply. So वो condition में अगर ये condition आपका viewport की width कम है, so that's why. Anyway, and it's commonly used for max width and minimum width. तो भाई इतने width से ज़्यादा हुआ तो viewport मतलब viewport की size हुई तो वो apply करेगा. Anyway, what does this do? So in the below example, the padding is applied to the .card class. तो इस example में .card as in whatever element that has the class value card, उस पे वो apply कर रहा है जो भी कर दिया है. When the viewport is 960 pixels wide and below. Okay. What does this say? So we're going to add a media query that will be applied when the viewport is 760 pixels wide and below. अभी हम लोग इसके अंदर ये नेक्स्ट नहीं करने वाले हैं. जो भी क्लास सेलेक्टर है या आईडी सेलेक्टर है, वॉट एवर काइंड ऑफ सेलेक्टर वी गोइंग टू ऐड, वी आर ओनली सपोज टू ऐड दिस फॉर नाउ. मीडिया और @ media should say, yeah, what does he say? Media query. So we're not going to add a media anything inside the media query for now. So I'll write media, I'll put 2 brackets and I'll put 2 curly brackets. 2 curly brackets अभी empty रखने वाले हैं. What does this say? So wide and below. So for that we'll use max hyphen width and मैं क्या करूँगा, space 960 pixels and has some contains. So oh, it's not supposed to be 960. I'll write 768. So 768, and you can see this is blue in color. I don't know why. Maybe it's supposed to be that way, but let's see. Viewport is this and below. So let's check the syntax. ये हमने बराबर डाला है कि नहीं. So it says @ media max hyphen width inside the bracket. Then we put the colon. We did put the colon. Maybe the colors are supposed to look that way. I don't know. Let's check whether we are done. And we're done with this step. Oh, that's much, too big. Now what else does this say? So add a new .piano selector within your media query. So now we're going to add a, excuse me guys, coffee. I need some coffee. So we're going to use an ID selector. How do I know it's an ID selector? Because we can see a hash symbol here. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. So now we have declared the class, the selector. Inside this we will set the width to be 358 pixels. इससे क्या होगा? You can see that this piano ID will stay the same size. Acha, will stay this size probably if the viewport's width is max. Acha. Okay, let's play with this a little bit. What if I resize the window? क्या करेगा ये तब? So मैं ऐसा कर देता हूँ. Okay, that's what it looks like. But if I zoom out, it is still correct. Or if I make it 100%, unfortunately my screen is scaled, so आपको थोड़ा बहुत छोटा दिखेगा. But if I change the viewport size, of course we are supposed to change the width. Of course the margin auto property is, yes, you can see जैसे मैंने width change की, so this must be that 768 threshold. So whenever it's 768 pixels or below, the width will become this. So the width of the piano div will become this. Okay, इसको मैं वापस full screen कर देता हूँ, but you guys get it. So when I scale it, the pixel size becomes this. Make sense? So 358 pixels. अच्छा, तो जैसे हम इसको resize करेंगे, इसकी width बन जाएगी 358. Make sense? Very cool. We can go to the next step. Within the media query, add a dot keys selector. I see. So inside this query we can add different selectors. Very cool. और इसकी width हम set करेंगे 318 pixels. You know what? I can copy this selector and I can change the values. So instead of piano, now I will write dot keys. जिससे हम लोग ये वाले div को change करेंगे. You can see. भी हम ये full screen करते हैं तो अरे बाप रे. What happened here? You can see that it goes from left to right and it does not wrap itself, or it doesn't change its width. So what I'll do is I'll press Command Z and instead of 358 we're supposed to write 318. So now it has become this way. अच्छा, but so हाँ, मतलब piano की size छोटी होगी, it looks like a small cute piano, but we can still see these keys. इनको कुछ जाने की जगह नहीं मिल रही है. हाँ, तो अभी हम क्या करेंगे? We'll probably do something about that in the next steps. So, or maybe not, apparently. Maybe not in the next step, maybe in the future. Okay, now add a logo selector. So, tab, enter. Another enter, please. Yes. So now we're in. So we'll add dot logo, which will target a class, curly brackets. Inside the curly brackets we will set the width property. Oh sorry, WIDTH, not DHT. DTH. Width property to 150 pixels and semicolon. What changed? This changed. अच्छा, okay. So अलग-अलग viewport sizes में, या अलग-अलग devices में, अलग-अलग laptops में, अलग-अलग screens में, अलग-अलग viewport sizes में, अलग-अलग conditions में ये ऐसा दिखाएगा. तो जब भी viewport की size 768 pixel से कम होगी तो website ऐसी दिखेगी. Okay. We've added the values. We can go to the next step. Only 3 more steps to go. You might have noticed we have the keys collapse when the browser window is smaller than 786 pixels. We did. So this is the collapse, and you can see these are still there. क्या करेंगे इसके लिए? So set overflow to hidden, अच्छा, तो जो भी ओवरफ्लो कर रहा है तो वो हाइड हो जाएगा. Oh, that's the overflow property does. Oh god, नहीं समझ आया था पहले, but now it makes sense. Overflow. So whenever it overflows outside of the element, अगर let's say this div element called keys with the class or id keys, sorry, key is inside the keys. तो जब भी कोई element div element overflow करेगा outside the keys element, it will hide, it will be hidden, it will hide. So I'll write hidden and that will disappear. Now I understand the overflow. In the first .key selector we did that to take care of this issue. This property will hide any element that is pushed outside the set with value of keys. So yeah, my interpretation was close, but this has more to do with the with value. अच्छा, okay, yes. वे इस विथ से बाहर गए तो बाकी के जितने भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स है वो सारे हाइड हो जाएंगे. Okay. Now what does this say? Logical operators. So that's new. We're coming across logical operators for the first time. So what does this say? Can be used to construct more complex media queries. Acha. Operators. Don't be worried guys. Operators are nothing to worry about really. So logical operators and. So जब minimum width होती है इतनी और and होती है. So we're going to use a range. वही 500 पिक्सल्स और 1000 पिक्सल्स के बीच में जब स्क्रीन दिखती है तो स्क्रीन ऐसे दिखानी है. जब 500 और 100 के बीच में होती है तो स्क्रीन ऐसे दिखानी है. We can apply these values using CSS. That is very cool indeed. And that's how we're learning responsive web design. फ़ोन में वेबसाइट अलग दिखेगी, टैबलेट में वेबसाइट अलग दिखेगी, आपका फ़ोन कुछ अजीब दिखता हो तो उसमें अलग दिखेगी. इफ़ यू हैव ए टीवी में आप वेबसाइट देख रहे हो तो उसमें वेबसाइट अलग दिखेगी. अगर आपके पास 13 इंच लैपटॉप है तो उसमें वेबसाइट अलग दिखेगी. सो डिफरेंट सेटिंग्स एंड देर ऑल मेंशन्ड इन द CSS styles.css. But if you think about it, this has nothing to do with your computer mobile phone. It has to do with the viewport size. So as long as the viewport size changes, this will change. If you don't believe me, I will show you. So let me open a website that will tell me how it will look in a mobile phone. So you know what, let me open google.com. So अगर आप अपने फ़ोन में Google Chrome ओपन करेंगे and if you open Google, it won't look like this, it won't look similar to this, it will look different. So I'll use the inspect element. I can use F12 to open the console, the Google Chrome console, and I'll click on the button just before the text elements. यहाँ पे जो आपका mouse, you won't be able to see the mouse, I'll have to move this. So आपको ये console दिख रहा है लिखा हुआ. Unfortunately it's all small, but yeah, now I can increase the size of this console. Great. So now that I've increased the size of this console, you can see it's written elements here और यहाँ पे एक laptop and mobile का display दिख रहा है. When I click on this, it will show me what it looks like on a mobile phone. Unfortunately इसकी size बहुत weird है, थोड़ा fit to window करना पड़ेगा और थोड़ा करना पड़ेगा size को बड़ा. And now you can see this is what Google looks like on a mobile phone. And it says what dimensions is this using, so it's using the Samsung Galaxy S20. What if we want iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone SE, so then it will look like this in an iPhone SE. What if we take an iPad Air, so this is what it will look like in an iPad Air. What if we go to another website, let's say youtube.com and spokenessays website. So in your mobile phone or in your iPad Air, this is what it will look like. So this is what I'm talking about guys. Viewport की बात कर रहे हैं. So it doesn't matter, but अलग अलग devices में ऐसा दिखता है website, ऐसी page ऐसा दिखता है. You can see mobile S or mobile L, tablet, this is the tablet size. You can also learn by yourselves here. ये laptop में ऐसा दिखेगा. लैपटॉप की विथ थोड़ी चेंज करनी पड़ेगी, बट या इफ़ यू चेंज द विथ यू कैन सी, जैसे मैं व्यू पोर्ट चेंज करता हूँ तो उसका व्यू कैसे चेंज होता है. द सेम वे the same thing happens when we change these settings. Anyway, the AND logical operator, so we're going to use a logical operator called AND. क्या करता है वो, is used to query two media conditions. तो मुझे एक से ज़्यादा conditions डालने हैं, मुझे दो conditions डालने हैं, then अगर मुझे दो conditions डालने हैं, सिर्फ दो डालने हैं, then I use the AND operator. And I'll quickly move the position of my camera again. Well, not the position of my camera really, the position of the, yeah, from where you can see me. So मैंने उसको भी corner पे रख दिया. You can see that I'm in the corner now, I'm not in the center. Okay. Okay. So for example, a media query that targets a display width between 500 pixels and 1000 pixels would look like this. Commonly used values are minimum width properties and maximum width. Now ये हम भूल जाएंगे जो हमने ये वाला मीडिया बनाया था, and we'll use another media query. So I'll press click, yeah, I made it an active window and I clicked on it again. I'll write at media query. I'll put the I'll put the brackets and I'll put the curly brackets. Curly brackets के अंदर हम लोग कुछ करेंगे बाद में, but for now we'll only add this value. So if the window is wider than 769 and smaller than, so but smaller than, okay, let's see this. If the browser window is wider than, minimum width and maximum width. So minimum width will be minimum hyphen width wider than, so 769 से बड़ी होगी तो, and we'll put the operator and here, and then I'll write, sorry, I used the mouse cursor by mistake, so I'll copy this, sorry, copy not command X, and I'll place the cursor here just after and. You can see there's only one gap, and I'll paste the text here, and you can see I've maintained the spaces, and instead of 769 I will write 1199. What will that do? Let's find out. What is this condition for? Instead of minimum width, now I will write maximum width, so MAX. Let's see. इसको मैं क्या करूँगा, इसको मैं zoom out करूँगा. Wow, that is so cool. Okay, anyway, इसको थोड़ी normal size कर देते हैं. Great, this is the normal size. But it's not the normal size, but it is the normal size for you guys. And we have 2 concurrent viewers. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And अभी हम लोग media query के अंदर selectors डालेंगे. So for the new media rule, we'll set the width of hash piano. अभी हमने hash piano में rule डाले थे. Before it was anything that is below 768 pixels. अगर 768 pixels से below कुछ जाता है तो पियानो की width ये कर देंगे, कीज़ की width ये कर देंगे और लोगों की width ये कर देंगे. The same way we'll do something to this. जब 1199 और 769, अच्छा इसने मूव कर दिया max and minimum. Anyway, so when 769 pixels और 1199 pixels पे होंगे, which is probably for a tablet, I assume, maybe not, I can do that. Why don't I use F12 and I can play with the dimensions. Instead of responsive, I will make it iPhone SE. So in an iPhone SE, this is what it will look like. Arre baap re, that is so cool. I cannot resize this. Why can I not? I'll set reset. Okay, so this is what it looks like in an iPhone SE. If I make it pixel 5, this is what it looks like. So हम देख सकते हैं ये keys overflow कर रही है, and the overflow isn't hidden. Why is it not hidden? I don't know. But anyway, this is what it looks like. If it were a mobile, oh my god. If it were a Surface Duo, Surface is a Microsoft product. Then we have Surface Pro 7. So this is what the screen would look like. इसको हम लोग ऐसा करेंगे, दिस इज या सरफेस की स्क्रीन फॉर सरफेस इज़ ए टैबलेट एंड ए लैपटॉप, सो उसका डिस्प्ले ऐसा दिखेगा. देन या वी कैन यूज़ डिफरेंट व्यू पोर्ट्स, सो डिफरेंट व्यू पोर्ट्स में ऐसा दिखता है. सो 1199 एंड 769, यू नो व्हाट, आई विल चेंज दिस. सो 1199 इसकी विड्थ क्या करेंगे, व्हाट इज़ दिस, रिस्पॉन्सिव पे जाएंगे और मैं ये क्या है width and this is the height, so I'll make the width 1199, so instead of 320. That's the width. That's probably for a tablet. Yeah, that's for a tablet. ये हम लोग जो भी करेंगे, so जब tablet पे देखेंगे 1199 तो ये freeCodeCamp ये पियानो ऐसा दिखेगा, इसकी width ऐसी हो जाएगी. Now we have to change the width for the keys and the key element too. We'll come to that, but this is what it will look like. Okay, moving on. इसकी width set कर दी है for piano, and now we'll set the width for the keys. Sorry. So now I'll write dot keys curly brackets. Nope, it should not be capital. There is no class with capital keys. And in the keys we'll set the width to 633 semicolon. Let's see whether it overflows now. It still does, but इसकी width थोड़ी change हो गई है, पहले थोड़ी अलग थी. बस it looks weird here. Maybe not, maybe not, I don't know. Yep, कुछ गलती की है. It should not be 633, it should be 633 pixels. Nope, no change so far. Let's read. So media, set the rule of the width. Oh, we're supposed to change the width of the piano too. I'm so sorry. So 675. And now it will be larger. So this is the larger piano. Now it makes much more sense. It won't need to overflow. इसको हम zoom करेंगे तो क्या दिखेगा. So you guys can also use this feature. आपके Chrome लैपटॉप या कोई PC में आप ओपन करके इनको यूज़ कर सकते हैं. Pixel, iPhone 12 Pro, Nest Hub if you want to use Nest Hub Max, and you can also rotate it. You can only rotate it for a few. Then we have this Samsung Galaxy A51 71. So this is what the website would look like in a Samsung A51. Anyway, I'll keep the preview open here. हाँ, यहाँ पे preview दिख रहा है, तो यहाँ पे इसकी width 768 से कम है, इसलिए ऐसा है. If I change the width, then we can see that it has become a larger piano. और with expand करेंगे तो it will become an even larger piano. Amazing stuff. And all of this is done using CSS. Great stuff. We have the green light, of course, and we can go to the next project. Now this is a certification project. We are going to do the certification projects later, but you know what, we are supposed to build a technical documentation. I'll cover this project later, but for now we will go to the next project where we'll build a city skyline. That is nifty, very nifty indeed. And what I'll do is what time is it? So guys, I'm going to take a quick break and I will see you guys in half an hour. Thank you so much, mommy, and I'll see you guys at 12:30 again, and we'll start building a city skyline. So why don't you guys stay tuned, and until then, ciao. Thank you, mommy, again, and we'll close this. You can see me now. Bye bye.